Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to November 4th, 2020. It has officially been the longest fucking day in the longest year, in the longest
month
of the longest decade. No, 4 years. What?
I don't
How
know.
long has it been?
It's been like honestly like 6 years. I mean, like
6 years.
No joke. It's probably been 6 years in the making.
When did he first rear his?
He started fucking
head?
with us in like 2012, so he's been around for a minute.
He's been around. Anyway, hey everybody, this is Busy Phillips is doing her best, the podcast.
The election special.
Which, I mean, gosh, you guys, we decided that we didn't want to pre-record the podcast because we wouldn't know the outcome of the election. And we thought like, well, that'll be silly. We'll all be like nervous and, we won't know what's happening. And so let's just hold off until we possibly know. But they told us. Until we know something. And all we know now is we don't know.
I feel better that we're doing it today than if we did it yesterday.
Yeah,
because
I mean,
today feels hopeful as opposed to yesterday.
Last
where
night.
I was like, I don't know, man. I don't know. Now I feel like I do know more.
More.
Okay, you know what? Here's what I'm going to do. Thanks, guys, for joining us at home. Thank you, Shantira and Caissie, for joining me, Busy Phillips, here.
Thank you.
On this pod. Let's start at the beginning.
All right. the beginning.
I'm kidding. I just feel like, guys, we're going to just do a little bit of like a processing. And I think that that's how we can all do our best in this moment. And,
absolutely.
And also let's talk about yesterday and our day and how we voted and where we're at and
how we're surviving,
and also like where we each think maybe we collectively need to go, or because I know like a lot of people have just left comments. Like I posted this photo this morning of Birdie that I took yesterday on our drive back from Philadelphia, where we went yesterday and volunteered at the polls and with World Central Kitchen, and I took a picture of Birdie in the car on the way home, and I just was like, I do have hope. I have hope because I see this kid and like I can't not when I look at her and all the things that she knows and ideas that she has and the future that she sees,
Yeah.
But so many people on my Instagram said, yes, but yes, but I'm incredibly disheartened by the numbers coming in. And I feel that so fucking deeply. It's like why I've been very emotional for the last however many hours. I've been emotional.
By the time you hear this, and by the time we're even saying this, I think we have to all take a beat. And I think we have to wait for those actual numbers to come in because I've just been hearing so many things about like, this is disappointing. And Trump increased his popularity with all types of different groups of people. And like, I'm not I'm not Miss Politics boss bitch or whatever. I'm just like, regular.
You're not? Then why are you here?
I just follow like a regular pretty engaged person. And what I know is that it is tough to beat an incumbent, and it really takes everything everybody's got. And so that is what everybody I feel like everybody tried to give it everything they had and tried to focus their efforts in the most effective places. And now we just have to count the votes and see how it turned out. But I think we have to count all those votes even before we allow ourselves to be disappointed in ourselves. We can be disappointed right now. We can be disappointed in everybody that voted for Trump, because that is disappointing.
I'm disappointed. And I mean, like, the thing too is that, again, I'll say it, we won. We have the numbers. It's the fucked up electoral college that is built off of black people being 3/5 of a person. Biden has won more votes than any president ever, right? We won, right? So America is built this way on purpose. It's built for it to be hard for goodness to win. And I think that everyone just needs to reconcile that white supremacy and whiteness is the norm. And that I truly believe that Obama was a fluke. I think Obama was a fluke, and all the white people are finally reckoning with what I think a lot of black and brown people have been dealing with for a long time. Like, this is America. And we're barely scraping by, and they did everything they could for us to lose. So I think that is a thing that keeps me from being disheartened, because they shut down all the polling places. They literally shut down a lot of the United States Postal Service, right?
Right.
We're still winning, even though they're cheating, you know?
Right.
So that's where I'm at.
The other thing is, I mean, the other thing that I sort of have returned to as well is that I don't know if Obama was a fluke, but I do know that what Trump has been successful at is empowering those who deeply feel the white supremacy and the vibe of that thing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so those people are motivated to come out for Trump. Whereas like before, they, I think, thought that they existed outside of the system. And so they're like, well, I'm not voting for, I don't care. Like, I'm not going to vote for either of these people. You know what I mean? And I feel like we see that how his appealing to that thing has been successful for him in a certain way. I do maintain, obviously, in agreement with you both. I think we have the numbers for good. I also think that this whole thing was by design. The Trump supporters are not afraid of this virus. They are not afraid to go to polling places on the day and cast their vote. They aren't afraid. They're not even wearing masks. They're fucking licking their fingers after they touch the ballot fucking button machine.
It's very interesting, that divide between how, more liberal people were, how the Democratic side of things really encouraged people to vote by mail and to make it very easy. And Republicans were pushing the whole time. In-person voting is very crucial. And that's really interesting to me. And that's been part of why it's been interesting the way this is unfolding, because they, in a lot of places, they counted that in-person vote at first, and so it skewed so heavily
it's
toward
all by
Trump.
design.
Yeah, and then now they're going to count these mail-in votes, God willing, and the courts are on our side, which is, I know, a lot to hope for, because who's been putting judges on the bench for the past 4 years. So these numbers are going to come in, and he already tried to say, like, they're doing these vote dumps and they're changing the outcome. And it's like, yeah, that's how it happens. Like, like that's why we count them, because
and the fact that the people who've turned out, that the Democratic side made such a play for people to drop off their ballots, to vote by mail, to vote early, like, in a way, I got on a call last night with the woman from the Biden team who I had worked with, and she was like, is this what we were hoping for? Not exactly. Was this one of our scenarios? 100%. Like, we had a feeling that there was a version of this that went this way, because we know so many people were going to vote early because of the pandemic. Things were just different. But she's like, but that being said, like the turnout is going to be record breaking.
Yeah.
The suburbs are killing it. Like, fucking look at my home state of Arizona. I have never been prouder of those bitches.
Did they call Arizona yet?
I feel the same way I always feel about Florida.
Yeah. But listen.
Hey, you know what, Shantira? I got to tell you something. I feel like we got to let her go.
We
got to let Florida go.
This is as honest as I can truly be about Florida. I have been voting absentee since I left. And this is the first time I voted in California because and this is no discredit to the people on the ground in Florida doing the work, right? It's plenty of people doing the work. The Floridians did the work and they passed them in before, but there's only so much evil you can fight.
Right.
And they are evil and they cheated, and Florida is red. Florida is red as long as Republicans keep doing whatever they want. As long as every former felon in the state of Florida, which is over 1 million, are not allowed to vote because of a poll tax that DeSantis created. So I think that is a thing too. That really frustrates me is the idea that the South is a lost cause. The South is blue. The South is full of black and brown people who vote for Democrats, but the South is run the way it was run in the fucking Civil War.
Yeah. But on that note, I do want to say, let's mention a little bit of good news in California. Measure J passed, which is community investment. That's part of like the Patrice Cullors was helping with that one, and alternatives over incarceration. Oh no, you're gonna have to edit that out. Incarceration. But
we're
also,
not
like,
editing today. FYI.
I know you're not. I know that was a joke. Also, guys, you understand. I legit drank way too many margaritas, ate an entire package of cinnamon gummy bears, and then passed the fuck out last night. New York elected the first out and gay Afro-Latina member of Congress, Richie Torres, Latino. Who's Richie Torres? Let's Democrat, whatever. That's great.
Yeah, we had a lot of wins.
Oklahoma, first non-binary state lawmaker. That's great.
Yeah, we had a lot of really impressive historic wins. And one thing I wanted to say, Shantira, about Florida is that, and I want to say to all of our friends who are in red states who went out and voted your heart and for what you thought, even though it felt like I'm in a red state, this is probably pointless. It's not pointless. It's not pointless. You're contributing to the popular vote. The bigger the gap ever gets between the popular vote and the electoral college, the more obvious it becomes that the electoral college is an outdated and broken system. And so if Joe Biden should win, if the remaining states should go to him and he's got it in the bag eventually, even though we're all exhausted, you contributing to the popular vote contributes to his mandate as a leader. And so it's not a waste. All the hours that you spent waiting in line and all the trouble that you went to make sure that your ballot was counted, even though you lived in a red state, it's not a waste. And thank you.
Yeah. I mean, Arizona is blue. Yes. Officially.
Yeah.
So
Wisconsin's blue.
Wisconsin squeaked in,
and if we can get Michigan and Nevada,
it looks like Michigan is happening.
Yeah, we need Nevada. I think we did it.
Nevada looks like it's happening.
I mean, you guys, I won't trust this until Yeah. I won't trust this until
I am surprised. I thought Georgia and I thought North Carolina was gonna be different.
The suppression, though, and that's the thing. That is the thing that really. I think is frustrating too, because the first thing everyone wants to do is be like, let's get rid of Mississippi and let's get rid of Florida and let's get rid of Oklahoma. And it's like, or we could get rid of the white supremacy that keeps those people disenfranchised. And
how about that? Like, how about that's the conversation? I was like,
the conversation isn't that people in the South are stupid. It isn't that people in the South are lazy or that we don't need them. That's really untrue and unfair to all those people down here. are down there who really want change. Like you matter. Nobody's going to get rid of you out of the United States. We're going to keep fighting so that you aren't disenfranchised, because we know the truth, and so do they. So I think that's the thing. So yeah, I just get really frustrated when people get so mad at them, and it's like, don't get mad at Florida. They did the right thing at Amendment 4. Get mad at the institution that created this.
Guys, we have to do an ad because we're kind of just doing this live. So so we're going to do a quick ad for an amazing product, and then we'll be right back.
Getting busy with it. Getting busy. I can't even remember my tune now. We're getting busy with it. What was it? Is that it? We love Vizzy. You know what? I'm hearing feedback, Vizzy people. I'm hearing feedback from audience members who've tried Vizzy and are like, yeah, it's amazing. And by audience members, I mean just my friend Christine from Arizona, who's like, I love your ads and I love Vizzy Hard Seltzer. And we love Vizzy Hard Seltzer too. And I think, I don't want to be out of line here, I think they love us. You know why? Because
I hope so. Vizzy, please tell us you love us back.
Because Vizzy is a lot like we are. Vizzy is a bitch that contains multitudes. Vizzy is the only hard seltzer crafted with the antioxidant vitamin C. Maybe you feel like those two things don't go together. Vitamins in my hard seltzer? Why, that's like... I can't ever think of this. What are two things that go like? That's like The Rock doing
Shakespeare.
I mean, I feel like he could do Shakespeare.
He could. I would like it. I'd be there for
I actually think The Rock, that would be like a reality TV star running for president.
Oh my gosh.
But unlike that example, this hard seltzer works.
This combo works.
This combo is delicious and is exactly what you want. And it's, you know,
I love anything with pineapple.
I know you're a pineapple mango person. I'm into blueberry pomegranate. I like a little bit of like tart. So black cherry lime, also my jam. Shantira, who had to bounce strawberry kiwi, I think is hers. Yeah. Right? Didn't she? Isn't that?
She likes the pineapple too.
Oh, all right. Well,
no, I mean, listen, we like them all. That's the point.
We can't speak for Shantira.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Anyway, guys, I'll have to find out from Chrissy B. Chrissy which flavor is her favorite. But you should get into it because I think you're going to like it. And I don't know about you, but I can always drink a fizzy drink with some vitamin C and something to take the edge off. So upgrade your hard seltzer with Vizzy. To find out where you can purchase Vizzy, go to VizzyHardSeltzer.com. That's VIZZY hardseltzer.com. You must be 21 and over to drink Vizzy.
Obviously.
Hey guys, you know all those things that you keep saying, like, I'm going to do this for myself, but then you never end up doing it, either because you're just like exhausted doing things for everybody else because you're probably a caretaker because you're listening to this podcast, and that's what we all are. Personally, I've always wanted to fix my little snaggle teeth on the bottom so that I stop getting things stuck in them and Mark doesn't look at me like I'm disgusting. And thanks to Candid, straightening my teeth is simpler, easier, and more comfortable than ever. Here's the deal. They're clear aligners. They're comfortable. They're removable. They're practically invisible. And it's prescribed. Your treatment is prescribed and monitored remotely by a licensed orthodontist who's an expert in tooth movement. And it's all done from your own home. And Candid only works with orthodontists, never general dentists like other companies. And the person that's your orthodontist will be your orthodontist every step of the way, which is awesome. So you'll always know that your treatment is on track. And I love that. And for most people, it's only like 6 months. You'll start to see results. Way before then, it's thousands and thousands of dollars less than braces. And unless you're Gwen Stefani at the 1997 MTV Movie Awards, Music Awards, braces are not the fashion statement of the moment. You know what I mean?
Not right now.
Not right now. So start straightening your teeth today. Right now, all of my listeners can save $75 on Candid's starter kit. So go to candidco.com/best and use code BEST. That's candidco.com/best, code BEST. Take advantage of this limited time offer to save $75 on your starter kit. candidco.com/best, code BEST. All right. So, but what I was thinking back from what Shantira was just saying is a couple things. Number one, yes, like I think dealing with the white supremacy issue in this country is something that we need to tackle. I also think that dealing with toxic masculinity is something that we have to look at, because I do think like, okay, so on Sunday we had to take the it was just I think it was a weird day on Sunday, and we went to go pick up a rug. Oh yeah, it rained so hard and I was soaking wet and I was not happy about it. But anyway, we went to go get a rug and something else like in Brooklyn, and so we took the car and we were going out to get on the West Side Highway or whatever. There was like all these police and what the fuck is happening? This is in Manhattan, and there was a MAGA truck people bullshit thing of these bros, you know, like in these huge trucks with the flags and just these white supremacist dudes. And then there were sort of counter MAGA protesters on foot who like basically blocked them, and then the police were there, and it was just like sort of a mess and screaming and like it was just crazy. And a lot of people, I'm sure, saw the video of the parade of MAGA trucks around Kamala's bus, you know, in Texas, was it? Yeah. And like just those scenes from all over the country, right? And then like the thing that sort of comes through with all of the white supremacy fucking bullshit of these dudes is just their toxic aggression and masculinity and their anger, their deep fucking anger. We need to like figure out how the fuck we talk to men. Two things. Number one, Caissie, you're going to feel this deeply. If you are a person who has a child who has gone into temper tantrums, like wild fucking temper tantrums, you know that the hardest thing to do is hug that child in those moments. But that is like truly what they're longing for, is for like love and understanding of what their experience is. But it's the hardest fucking thing to even do, because they'll punch you in the face in that moment. And then you're just like, well, I was just fucking punched in the face. Like, I don't want to be punched in the face anymore. But they need to have that understanding. Now, I responded to this guy on my own Instagram who has been like leaving comments on lots of my pictures, just like a random picture of a cute outfit. And he's like, was that outfit worth having an abortion when you were 15?
Jesus.
You know, he's been doing it for a while.
Yeah.
And I haven't blocked him, and I haven't like, because I just like, I looked at his page and I was just like, what's going on here? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so then I finally, like, over the weekend, I posted a photo of my nails, and the guy's like, and I said, oh, it's so amazing to me that my daughters don't know what that share quote means. Mom, I am a rich man.
Yeah.
You know, like they didn't even get it. They're like, well, what do you mean? And I was like, because people used to tell women that they had needed to marry rich. And Brody's like, why would they have to do that? Like, yeah.
Oh,
that's right.
To live that life. Yes.
Right. Yeah. Right, girl. Yes. It doesn't even make sense. Doesn't even make sense to you.
Yeah.
And he like commented like something like, it's devastating for the baby that you aborted when you're 15 will never get to know what anything means, or something like that. And I just was like, buddy, you have to stop harassing me. I'm sorry that you're upset by my decision. I'm not going to block you, because I think that like one of the great things about this fucking country is that we're all able to have our, you know, express our opinions and our beliefs. But your belief, if you believe that like abortion of a fetus is murder, okay, I'm not going to change your belief in this moment, but I believe something different, and your belief is based in faith. And in this country, we're not supposed to oppress people who believe different things than us. And we're certainly not supposed to take away their rights based on our own religious beliefs. So I just am asking for you to like try to deal with why this makes you so angry. And because I don't think you're going to get what you want from harassing some random celebrity online, right? And he continued to just be like rotten and miserable. And I mean, I don't know, whatever. But there was just so much anger. Yesterday, I was phone banking for Nithya Raman, and I got a guy on the phone, and he was like, what is this? And I was like, okay, hi, I'm a volunteer. I live in your neighborhood, and I'm just like calling you to make sure you voted and to just ask if you have a plan and if I can help in any way. And I'm working with my friend Nithya Raman, who's running for city council in our neighborhood. And he's like, I don't understand what this, like, he was like yelling at me. And I was like, okay, listen. He's like, why? How do all these people have my fucking number? Like, what the fuck? Da 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 da. And I was like, you like screaming at me. And I was like, yeah, dude, my phone's been ringing too. Like, it's hard, but you know, the good news is maybe after tonight, it'll be over for a couple of years. Right. And he was like, it's like impossible. And I was like, I know. Okay, it's fine. You know what? I can't do, you know, whatever. You know what? It's cool. Like and a lot of times they're like, just hang up the phone, right? Like if someone's screaming at you. But for whatever reason, like his like energy was so aggressive, but also like, I was just like, what? I needed, you know me. It's like I needed more.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, okay. I just, you know, I'm trying to just help, and I'm a real person, and I really live in this district, and like, that's all. And he was like, I'm trying to deal with my mother's funeral. My mom died. So I was like, dude, I cannot do much for you in this moment, except tell you that I'm so sorry about your mom. And I have a button on this computer, and you won't get another call from this campaign. So I'm going to put that on, and I hope you just like really are able to take care of yourself and take a deep breath. And I'm really sorry. And he just was like quiet, and then was like, okay, thanks. Hung up the phone. And I just felt like those two things like kind of illustrate this thing that these fucking dudes have. I haven't read Michael Ian Black's book of like, they're so angry.
Well, I think the thing too is if he voted for Trump, I don't care that his mom's dead. That's where I'm at. Fuck his dead mom and fuck him. Like, that's where I'm at. I don't care about their feelings. I don't want to help them. Fuck them. That's where I'm at. I don't give a fuck about these people anymore. I'm tired of having to care about them. And if he voted for Nithya, cool. And if he voted for Biden, I hope that he feels better. But if he voted for Trump, I don't give a fuck about his dead mom. I don't give a fuck about him. And I hope we put this on repeat for everybody to know. I don't care about these people anymore. And I think that I don't care about them. And I don't have to. And nobody has to care about them. I don't care about these people.
I think you're bringing up, I think you're bringing up an interesting point, which is that it is I hear the exhaustion in your voice, you know,
I'm not
and
doing this anymore. I'm not doing this anymore. And I understand that people do have, like, people are doing it, and I appreciate their work, and I appreciate that. But people also need to fully understand that you don't have to give a fuck about them. They're bad people. I hope he dies. Fuck him. I don't care about any of these people anymore. That's where I'm at. And then somebody's going to say that I'm an angry black woman and that I should have empathy and sympathy, but you should remember that empathy and sympathy is used from your oppressor so they can oppress you, they can oppress you, and then you get to feel bad for having actual feelings.
No,
Fuck
but listen,
him.
I don't have empathy or sympathy for these fucking dudes. I just think that we have to, as a society, figure the fuck out how to deal with it, because it will not get better. It will not get better.
We have to come for our own people. That's the thing, is that, like, Shantira, it shouldn't be your job to empathize with, especially, like, say, a white guy who's, like, just oozing toxic masculinity. It shouldn't be anyone's, you know,
it shouldn't be my fucking job to
Right.
have to deal with that guy on my fucking Instagram.
It's
100%
true, but this is what I'm saying. I think that, like, on a societal level, we need good guys to speak up more and to show that they're strong guys. And, you know, it's like you guys have been like dragged online by, like, a group of whatever, whether it's, like, you know, super far left guys or super far right guys. You guys we've all experienced it, and it's always women jumping to another woman's defense, and it's hardly ever a man who, you know, every once in a while you'll get a DM from somebody being like, oh, I saw what happened, are you okay? And I'm like, don't do this in DM. Get out there. Yeah, get out there and tell this guy to shut the fuck up and to leave your friend alone.
And that's not just men too. Women. If something happens, I don't want a fucking DM from you, especially if you're not going to say anything out loud ever again.
Right.
The amount of times I've gotten like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that happened. What are we going to do? Don't do that. Either shut the fuck, like, don't do that for me.
But here's my question then, guys. Like, I bring this to the red table. I don't know.
I do have a red table in my room right now.
Like, I love that. Bring ourselves to the red table.
I'm bringing myself to the red table. What the fuck are we supposed to do about this thing, like the misogyny and the toxic masculinity and the white supremacy that exists? I'm not saying, I'm truly, Shantira, you know, I'm not fucking saying we have to have empathy for these motherfuckers. I don't have empathy for them. I don't think that they get to be abusive and racist and fucking horrid humans. But what the fuck do we do?
I have 100% said this before, and I believe it. I just believe they need to get the shit kicked out of them. I'm tired of us being like, all this nonviolent shit. They come up, if they show up at your house with a fucking gun, everybody should go get one. I'm on board. I'm going to go get one. I'm not fucking kidding. There's an all black gun shop here in, I'm not even gonna say where it is, but I'm gonna go, because this idea, that's also the thing. It's like, these people are violent. They're showing up, and they are harassing us and ripping off our masks and chasing us in trucks. And this idea that we're supposed to hope the police, it's the police. So, like, I'm saying, like, the next time some crazy white woman pulls your mask off, she deserves to get an open slap to the face. That's where I'm at. Because I honestly don't know what else to do. I don't know what to do. That's nonviolent.
I mean, I don't know either. And, like, I do know that, especially, well, yeah, dude. I mean, I moved across country.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I want to protect my family. And, like, I
mean, we don't have the answer, and that's okay too.
I think it starts with good people who believe that they're good have to stop being polite to people that are actively trying to hurt someone else. So that means no more saying like, oh, I'm sorry that you have to sit with your uncle who's against LGBTQIA plus causes at Thanksgiving dinner. He's from a different generation. Doesn't matter.
No.
That means when you hear your cuckoo neighbor yelling at someone who's Black in the street because they think they don't belong in that neighborhood, it doesn't mean that you be quiet to keep the peace in the neighborhood. It means that you stand with that person who's being attacked and you say, and here's the scary thing, like we all want to protect ourselves and protect our families, but sometimes you have to, sometimes you can't, you got to risk it. You know what I mean? Like that's the hardest thing. Like as a white mom of white boys, like in our house, we, you know, I always was like, listen, don't let your friends walk anywhere alone tonight. You know what I mean? And like, there's always a list of rules for my kids where I'm basically like, and my friends are telling me like, are you fucking crazy? You're telling your kid to like step into harm's way. You know what I mean? Like that's the advice that you're giving them. Like when shit goes down, don't bug out, stay there. And, you know, at the very least, witness it so that there's a witness. And it is scary. Like, but can you imagine how anyone else who doesn't have a white boy kid feels? Can you imagine how scary it is for them?
I mean, I know that like it's very common, and I think it's been coming up often in this year, like the talk that Black parents give their kids. And I think that a lot of people don't know it, but like I mean, like my mother and my father, when I was like 8, 9, 10 years old, made it very clear that I was to act a certain way around certain white people to stay safe. That like when cops are around, don't move, don't look quote unquote suspicious. Like everything you're doing, it's not like you don't get to go have fun. You get to go outside and like remember all the survival things that your parents told you when you go to the movies. Oh, okay, cool. There's a big group of people in the front of that movie theater. Maybe you should go into another door, because when there's a group of Black and brown kids, cops like to bother them. So if you see that, make sure you go somewhere else. If you you are in a neighborhood and you're walking by yourself, make sure that, especially since I'm a girl and I do often look masculine presenting, take your hood off and try to make sure that like people know that you're a girl, less likely for something to happen to you. Like there are all these things that I was like told to be safe, you know? So like the idea that too is like so many people don't know that like, oh, we're already in danger all the time. And I'm just asking you to like to be chill.
Right.
And I think that that's the thing too. It's like,
but
so
but to Caisie's point, the conversation that Black parents have to have with their children should be had by white parents.
Yes, we need more white parents
like
to do
what
that.
she did with her kids, and like what we've done with ours, which is like, you fucking stand up for what you believe in, even if it makes you unpopular, even if you lose friends over it, which Birdie has experienced now. And like, I don't give a fuck, because fuck that, but whatever. You know what I mean? She's felt pain because of her like taking the fucking stand for what's right. And I'm proud of her, like fucking proud of her. And it's not always easy to like get that message through to your privileged white kids. Just FYI, I'm saying this for the audience, not for you, Shantira.
Thank you.
So just so you know, just but for the people listening, so you have to like keep repeating it. It is not a conversation. Shantira, I am going to take a fucking leap of faith here, but I'm going to guess that your parents did not tell you one time how you needed to protect yourself. I assume that they
it's the older I got,
it was an ongoing conversation
the older I got, the more things I was made aware of. Sometimes, unfortunately, because I had to ask them, but then they would give me precursors.
Right. So like, so my white friends at home with who are parents and who are listening to this, let's just understand. How about that like this is a conversation you keep having with your kids about how they help to protect others, how they have to start to use their white privilege in order to make sure that all of their friends are safe. It's not enough. This is what Birdie said. It's not, and this is the whole fucking idea. It's not enough to just be against something. You have to be actively anti, right?
Yes.
So when we talk about how people are just like, I'm not racist. I'm not racist. That's fine. I'm grateful that you're not racist, lady. You need to be anti. You need to be actively doing things and living your life in such a way that you are like protecting, helping, and not protecting in like a, you know what I'm saying? But like,
protecting.
Well, like you'd protect anyone.
You would protect anyone. You have to fucking be willing to stand up.
You have to stand up.
And look, and you're right. It is fucking scary because like, look at like, there are historically speaking in the last 4 years cases of people like standing up and getting fucking killed, like like in the Midwest and in Seattle, like those, like it has happened. But you have to just know. I don't fucking know, guys.
The majority of people standing up are not getting killed. So so that's what we have to remember is that, and that the more people that stand up, that's how you overpower. And the more that you show your bravery, it's like confirmation bias. The more that you step out of line and say, no, not in front of me, somebody's going to step up behind you and be like, yep, I'm with her.
That's why you're so smart and I love you.
We have to take a break.
All right, let's do an ad. Listen, guys, making sense of the passage of time this year has been almost impossible. I'm not going to lie.
Time doesn't exist.
Time doesn't exist in 2020. I literally can't believe when I do that thing. Oh my God. When I look at the pictures from last year, this day last year, I'm like, I'm so sorry. That was 3 weeks ago. That was not a year ago. Like, I feel
like we haven't done
understand.
this podcast in 6 months. And it was just the other day. It was less than 7 days ago.
Wait, what? Oh my God. Seriously, it was less than 7 days ago?
Yeah.
I don't understand time. I don't understand it.
This is what we're saying.
So as this year comes to a close, there's one important timeline modern fertility can help you better understand. And that's your reproductive one. Did you know that you can just do a little simple finger prick and it can unlock tons of insight into your reproductive health, egg count, menopause timing, if your hormone levels indicate conditions like thyroid disorders or PCOS, polycystic ovary syndrome. For those of you who don't know that, I do. All things that are good to know, whether or not kids are in your future. I'm still waiting for my kit, guys. I really want it. Did it come to New York? Probably Ray has done it in LA. I'm not even kidding.
Ray tested his ovaries in
you guys,
LA.
Ray has been just everything that's come to the house. I feel like because I asked him, I was like, instead of just like shipping everything to New York, like open the packages, take pictures of it. I mean, is that too much? Maybe. I don't know. He's staying at my house. Take pictures of it. And then I'll decide if I want you to send it to me. Here's what I think might be happening. He's like, I'm interested in my in my hormone level.
In my hormonal health.
Yeah.
Well, he's living his best life.
He really is.
And
he also got my glasses on. He was in my wig drawer the other day. The wigs alone are worth a follow. But this isn't about Ray. This is about modern fertility and you getting important fertility insight without even having to go to a doctor or leaving home. It makes it possible with easy at-home fertility hormone testing. So it's why modern fertility was created. It's easy and affordable. And you can test your fertility hormones at home with a simple finger prick. And then you mail it back with a prepaid label. And then you get your personalized results within 10 days. So traditional testing with your doctor can cost over $1,000, but modern fertility only costs $159. Amazing. And you get the same information. And if you go to modernfertility.com/best, you can get $20 off your test. Also, if you have HSA or FSA, you can use those dollars on modern fertility. So you're going to get insight into how many eggs you have, hormone levels, other important fertility factors. The results go deep into what every hormone means, and you can also talk one-on-one with a fertility nurse to review your results and options for next steps. If you want kids today, or maybe you want kids someday, or if you just want to fucking know, you need information to make a decision that's best for you. So right now, Modern Fertility is offering our listeners $20 off the test when you go to modernfertility.com/best. That means your test will cost $139 instead of the hundreds or thousands it could cost at the doctor. Get $20 off your fertility test when you go to modernfertility.com/best. modernfertility.com/best. Listen, guys, it's time to talk about our boobs again. We love our boobs and we love Warners and Olga by Warners. Is that a good one?
It's not your best jingle.
It's not the best. Not the best.
But still, I appreciate the spirit in which you delivered it.
Real solutions for real women. Warners and Olga by Warners have been supporting women for over 140 years. They really know their stuff. Scroll back on my Instagram and see my cute ad that I did for them. I was in my bra. I never felt better. I loved it. I had no problems that day.
You're just working it into your dialogue now.
I'm trying to make problems happen, okay? Don't mean girls me, Caissie.
It's happening. I believe in it.
Caissie, maybe you need to say goodbye to your problems.
I believe in it.
What are problems? You know what I mean? We're talking underarm bulge, cup spillage, but Warners and Olga by Warners has the solutions for the issues that are voiced by real women. And Warners is led and designed and run by women. They know real bodies and they make a great, affordable bra that is well made and lasts a long time. You don't start that's all you want. You don't start a company in 1881 and you stick around to the hellish year of 2020 by making something that's not great. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're great. They're great. And I love them and I loved working for them and my bra drawer is full of them. And I've really been able to kiss those problems goodbye, and I'm going to keep saying problems until it happens.
Until it enters the lexicon.
Yeah. So you guys, if you want, visit warners.com and you can find real comfort today. You also, probably a store that you frequent a lot. Maybe you buy a lot of other stuff there. They probably have Warners. I'm just going to say it. I'm not going to name the stores. Go to warners.com, but they're in a lot of stores that a lot of us are at a lot. Is that a good way to say it? I don't want to make it mysterious, but I don't think we're allowed to say the big.
We like a little mystery.
I always do, especially when I'm talking about bras. You know what I mean? No. Busy? No. Anyway, I do love my Warners. Support and comfort. We can have it all. It's real life, real comfort. Warners bras. I'm not just the spokesperson. I also wear them. On that note, wait, sorry, Shantira, what?
I was just going to say something nice.
I wanted to say something nice too. Yeah, I want you to say something nice first. Okay, go.
Okay, this is kind of weird, but I got an ear infection. I went swimming in
I saw that.
That's
terrible.
On Instagram or on
I
Twitter.
have very small baby ears. Very
Me
small
too.
ears. My ears are so small. Anytime I go to the doctor, I'm told two things: I have perfect blood pressure and very small ears.
Shantira, me too.
I also have small ears. I can't wear earbuds.
I have perfect blood pressure. I've been told by many a nurse. And
what is it? I'm 115 over 70.
I don't even remember what it is. But yesterday, because it's I was I don't know. They were when I went and got an endoscopy, that's when you get scoped in your throat.
Yeah.
Right? When I
remember, I couldn't do it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And I cried.
When I was getting it done, when I was falling asleep, the nurses go, her ears are so small, and I was like, oh my gosh. And then when I woke up, they were like, you have perfect blood pressure, and I was like, 2 for 2, baby. So yesterday, this is the thing that sounds weird, but I have an ear infection. I've had them like always growing up because my ears are so small. But I woke up and I was like, I have an ear infection. I'm gonna go to the Minute Clinic and like really advocate for myself and like tell them what I know what is wrong with my body and get what I need.
Yes.
And then fucking go home. And that's what I did. And I was really proud of myself because it's really hard because when I know like a lot of women, when they go to the doctor, when they go to anything, they're always like, it could be this, it could be that. And obviously it could be, but like I knew what was wrong with me. And I went in and I told them what was wrong with me and it was confirmed. And then I got what I needed. And even though my ear hurts, I feel really proud of myself for advocating for my body.
Good for you. I love that because I'm so afraid of doctors and I will like avoid going to a doctor for like the dumbest thing. I just think that I'm like, you know, I'd convince myself that I had like, you know, some deadly ear infection. So I'm so proud of you for getting that done. And I hope that you're feeling a little better.
I also feel like, Shantira, you're on a real journey of owning your body and your health this year. And so
I am.
If
that
this
was my
year
manifestation early in the beginning of the year.
Yeah. And so this year might be like garbage in so many ways.
Yeah.
But I also want to just echo, I am proud of you for seeing that goal through. And I feel like you've really taken control and let's get rid of this ear infection. Ear infection.
I got some amoxicillin, baby. Let's go.
I love
So Vizzy,
amoxicillin.
do you want me to tell what I did my best at and then you go, or which way do you want to go?
Either way. Why don't you go? Because I talked a lot in the last section.
Okay. So I actually did something yesterday that helped me get through the worst part of the election. And I was kind of proud of it. And it was kind of fun and silly. And just all of a sudden I have all this stuff on my plate. I have way too much stuff to do. I went from having like 0 things to do to just having like committing to way too much stuff. That's fine. But like, do you remember when like the Girl Scouts of America did like a celebratory tweet about Amy Coney Barrett being confirmed?
No,
and
I
everyone
did not
was
see
like,
that.
that's bullshit. The Girl Scouts of America, she's going to oppress women. Blah. Anyway, I did a joke tweet saying like, what if I started a club called the Women Scouts? And people were like, I would so join that club. I would totally do that. And people were so enthusiastic about it. I was like, okay, here's a Women Scouts email. If you want to join a club, like, let's test this out. Let's float this balloon. So like 150 people emailed me saying, including like a couple of men who were like, could I be in the Women Scouts? And I was like, yeah, Women Scouts isn't just women. So anyway.
However you identify, baby. Come on over to the Women Scouts.
Yeah. If you want to be in the Women Scouts, yes, join up. So anyway, and it's probably like totally illegal to call them the Women Scouts. We'll see if I get sued. But anyway, yesterday I did that embarrassing thing where I emailed everybody without BCCing them, and there was like an exploding reply all chain, which was kind of a disaster. But then someone nicely suggested, hey, why don't we do a Slack channel? And I was like, I'm not really experienced in setting up a Slack channel, but I did it. It took like 5 minutes. And then all like 150 members just were on that Slack channel chatting all night, reassuring each other, telling each other it's going to be okay, distracting each other. It was really cool and it was really nice. And I just am so grateful to everybody who was like, yeah, this is what I'm doing tonight.
Can I join the Women's Scouts?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
people were
and
quoting you
like
in the Women's Scouts last night.
Yes.
Well, then should I
Iconic.
be? Is there a leader? Are you the leader?
I mean, I guess I'm by default the leader because I started it, but so many people have emerged as leaders. So
Yeah.
Oh, that's cute. I like that. So
Yeah.
many people have emerged as leaders.
Yeah.
I'm in it for the badges.
yes, we're working on badges, and I feel like we could do like an Instagram. Like last night, we were joking that our badge was getting through November 3rd is the badge that we earned. But I think like maybe we could do like little Instagram badges that people could post on their stories, and then
That's
that
so
would
cute.
like to be
and
like
I also love a
accomplished this.
flex. I love a flex. Just being like,
You
I
need
got
to
a
join
badge.
too,
Suck it,
Shantira.
nerds.
So-
Oh yeah, I'm going to.
Okay,
Okay,
all right.
we're in. We're in.
Okay.
Okay. So can I talk about can I tell you my good story about yesterday?
Yeah.
Election day.
Yeah.
This also is going to tie in several things that have been touched on already today. So I was like, what the fuck are we doing for election day? We had no plan. We didn't know what to do, you know? And I was like, I would like to volunteer somewhere. And, you know, because I have physically volunteered with World Central Kitchen several times at the border in Tijuana for the asylum seekers who are there living in shelters. World Central Kitchen has set up, you know, a bunch of, like, along the border, a bunch of different outposts.
Nobel Prize winning, right? Is that?
Did he win the Nobel Prize?
Is that
Jose Andreas?
Yes.
Jose Andreas. Yeah.
Yeah. He
He's
won the Nobel
incredible.
Prize for feeding the whole fucking world. It's amazing. Yeah.
He's incredible. The organization is incredible. One of the things I love the best about it, oh no, am I going to cry? Is that his entire idea is that, like, you feed people. That's also why the pandemic's been so hard, right? Like, you know, you share meals with people, you share food with people, and it's from a place of love, and it's like delicious and fills you up or makes you feel a fucking way, right? And then when people are, like, literally going through the hardest moments in their lives, when people are homeless or unhoused, or when people are displaced from natural disasters, FEMA shows up and gives them, like, a block of cheese in a Ziploc bag. And Jose Andreas was like, no, let's give people comfort with this food. Like, let's give people dignity with this food. Let's give them something. So, for instance, this is how much thought is put into it, just so I can kind of explain. It's kind of amazing. For instance, in Tijuana at the border, they are doing their best to serve a bunch of different shelters around Tijuana that are housing the asylum seekers who are trying to get here. And they are sort of, like, split into different groups in the shelters, like, depending on what country of origin they're from, right? Like, there are Haitian immigrants that are being held in Mexico, and Guatemalan, and, you know, people from Honduras, and, like, all of these different places, right? And they sort of go to different areas. And so when World Central Kitchen prepares the meals, they're like, oh, well, today we're serving, like, these 3 shelters, and this is, like, Guatemalan. So we want to make sure that it's not too spicy. Guatemalan people typically don't, you know, like their rice and beans with, you know, they like it with salt and not too much extra spice. Yeah. Like, they do, or if it's Haitian, they're like, we've taken this recipe from this person who, you know what I mean? They, like,
because there's nothing worse when you're hungry and you just get something that is, like,
what is this?
You know, just not, it's not for you.
You're like, I don't like the way this tastes.
Yeah. So that's so thoughtful. That's, like, another layer of, like, just beyond thoughtfulness.
Right. So that's, like, I just want to explain that because I think a lot of people have seen the World Central Kitchen online. Maybe you've donated. Maybe you've just seen some of the work that they've been doing during COVID, during, you know, the fires, during hurricanes. You know, they show up to areas. They're really thoughtful. The chefs that travel with the teams and set up are incredibly thoughtful about the people that they're going to feed. And they really want to make it, like, a nice experience, a nice meal. So they started this Chefs for the Polls thing, which was for early voting polls and day of the election at polls. They picked polling places in certain areas that, historically speaking, have had long lines. People have had to wait, and their idea was, like, we'll hire local chefs.
That's so cool.
Most of the local chefs and restaurants in our country, you know, have really suffered in the last 6 months.
Yes.
So World Central Kitchen, using their monetary donations that they receive, pay them, these restaurants, to prepare little, like, catered, delicious meals.
That's amazing.
And then they have volunteers like my little group, which is me and Mark, Sarah Bareilles, and her boyfriend, Joe Tippett. And then Jay, who was with something. I can't remember what organization she was with, but World Central Kitchen, like, had her hooked her up with us. And then we went to the Hank Gathers Youth Center in Philadelphia. So I missed the part. I'm telling my story. Sorry, I'm a little scattered today, but anyway, so when I was thinking about like what I wanted to do and I wanted to volunteer, and I was like, I mean, New York is kind of fine. And I looked at World Central Kitchen online and they had all of their signups for volunteers and it was like all full in New York too. And so I texted Chef Tim Kilcoyne from World Central Kitchen and I was like, hey dude, Mark was like, Philadelphia is only like an hour and a half away. I was like, what? I do not understand the East Coast.
Everything's driving distance. Everything's one train away.
You guys, I'm from Arizona. It takes you 6 hours to get into any other state. At least 6 hours from Scottsdale.
I one time accidentally drove into Delaware. Like we were looking for Chase Bank, and I was like, oh, this is where it is. And it was like, welcome to Delaware. And then we went to the bank and did a U-turn. So like the East Coast is wild. I straight up just ran into Delaware one time. Yeah. So yeah.
I've been like, I'm in New Jersey? What?
Oh, by the way, I started in Manhattan in New York. We went through New Jersey. We ended up in Pennsylvania all in like an hour 15.
It's wild.
And it's
like
wild.
Europe. It's like Europe.
Right.
Truly.
And I was like, oh wait, we could go to Pennsylvania? It's that close? Okay. So I texted Tim, and I was like, Tim, what about Philly? We could go. And he's like, yes, we need people in Philly. Great. And I asked Sarah and her boyfriend if they wanted to join us. And they're like, yes. And I was like, because we didn't know what the tenor of yesterday was going to be or the city, and like everybody's boarding up like their businesses around here. I was just like, oh boy. So we decided to take Sarah Beth Tomberlin and our girls with us
to protect us.
No, just we wanted them to be. I just like was like, I don't think we should be an hour and 15 minutes away from our kids, But also I understand their threshold for volunteering, and Sarah Beth was like, it's very cool because Shamir, my friend who's a singer and has the new album out that's incredible. Have you guys listened to Shamir?
Yeah.
Shamir?
I haven't. I don't know them, but send it to me. Drop it in
Everybody
the group
listen
chat,
to Shamir.
Okay. Well, first of all, you're going to fucking love Shamir. Anyway, Shamir lives there and wants to hang, and we can go to the park and have a picnic. I'm like, perfect. So we get there. We get the food from Chef Sophia from a restaurant called El Mercury in Philly. She provided so many meals yesterday to all these different polling places. And we were set up at the Hank Gathers Youth Center. And there were more volunteers than there were people waiting at the in line. Well, listen, here's what I'm going to say, though. Oh, but also the night before we left, Mark was like, is it safe to go to Philly? Blah, 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 blah. Like, they've had all this stuff and da-da-da-da-da. And like I don't know, whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, this is the point. Like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't fucking matter. Like, we're showing up. Like, we're going. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's safe. He's like, but people like poll intimidators. I was like, yeah. And guess what? We'll be there. Like, so this is why we have to do this in this moment. This is why this is so important to me, right?
I love that you brought the kids. One of the things when I was living in Chicago, we like shut down Michigan Avenue after Laquan McDonald was shot. And I'll never forget, we were like standing in front of a Gucci store because we were like, nobody's shopping today. Like, you need to like recognize what's happening in your city. And this woman walked by with her son, and the little boy goes, what's going on here? And that woman said, nothing. Don't worry about it. Let's go.
Oh my God.
And I think that one of the things that's really important is that like, when you decide to go somewhere and you can bring your kids, bring them.
Yeah.
Let them know what's happening.
Yes.
Let them see what this country is doing and what they are capable of doing starting now. So like, I hope that encourages people. because that really encourages me.
I mean, listen, I wasn't going to ask them to sit there for 3.5 hours and hand out
just
meals
showing
because,
them.
But
they were
that's
they,
what
like
you're doing.
Yeah, they came and they saw and then they went on a picnic with Auntie Shamir.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
But them just knowing, or even just knowing where you were going and coming with you. I think so many people think that kids know a lot and understand a lot, but if you don't tell them, there's some little asshole in their class who is going to tell them. Santa Claus,
right.
No. Let's talk about civil rights. Some kid is gonna go in there in class and be like, you don't know about the Electoral College, or telling them something wrong. So I think that it's like the same way you were mad at somebody for telling your kid about a tooth fairy. The ante has been upped in 2020. It's not just
for sure.
They're talking politics, baby. So take your kids.
They
with
are,
you.
and they should, and they should know those things. So anyway, so here we are. We're there at the polling place, and we made friends with some of the other volunteers that were standing around. There were some lawyers that were there that were poll watching, making sure that no one was sort of,
being bad,
turned away or whatever. Right? Yeah. The poll workers were lovely women from the, who lived in the neighborhood, who had been working at that poll for years. They were very sweet older ladies.
I love auntie.
Yeah, they were very cute and would come out and talk to us for a bit. Made friends with this guy Kenneth, who was there just like voter support, like if you need anything. I can't remember what organization Kevin was with. And then there were like a bunch of, I call everyone kids. They're not kids. They were like younger Black men who were all wearing shirts that say like Black Voters Matter. And they were sort of like holding signs up like you would like to let people know this was the polling place, and they were like playing music and like they were cool. And I am like a dorky white mom, you know what I mean? and I get it. Like I get it. And I'm fucking weird, you guys. I am. Like I'm like, like whatever. Yeah. And so I was like, I want to talk to those kids. Like they're standing over there, like, why can't we be friends? Because I was like just feeling like, so I had offered them some of the like tacos, taquitos and stuff before. And a couple of the kids were like, no, thanks. I was like, we got food. We're good. Thank you. And I was like, oh, okay, fine. So then everybody's like taking shifts throughout the day, So like some of the kids left and then another group of kids showed up. And by kids, again, I'm talking about kids that are like,
young 20s.
On early 20s, young adults.
I call everybody kid.
Me too.
Everybody's like, these kids.
Right. But I don't want it because I am a white woman, I don't want it to seem like I'm being, what's the word?
Kid and boy are very different.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah, that's true.
So you don't want to minimize anyone's.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right. That's right. They are young men. They're young men.
Yeah.
But okay. I think too, there is that thing where like I used to teach like improv, RIP, and like there'd be like people who were like 50 in my class, and I'd be like, my kids. So
yes, I get the same way. I don't know, like whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway,
anytime you try to feed someone, you're like, that's my baby.
Exactly. Yes. Everyone's Shantira's baby.
That
if you're
true.
not, look out.
Yeah, I'm always trying to give you snacks.
So anyway, some of the new kids who came, they like went inside to the rec center to, I don't know, whatever. And I was like, this is my chance. When they come out, I'm going to like make them engage with me. Such a fucking weird mom. And Mark's already so embarrassed. He's like on the corner. Like
your mom thirst is so.
It is palpable. I just was like, I had already chatted with everybody else. Like I knew everyone else's stories. I wanted in.
You're not a regular mom. You're a cool
I am a cool mom. I am. I did have a moment where I was like, in my head, I was like, they probably think I'm like a teenager too, right? They think I'm in my early 20s too. And then I was like,
oh my gosh,
Vizzy.
you definitely have cool mom attitude then.
Okay. So anyway, listen. So the 3 kids come out, and I was like, "Hey guys, are you sure you don't want tacos or like whatever? Like just like try." And they're like, "No, we're good. Thank you, though. Thank you. I swear, we're good." And I was like, "Okay. Well, just let me know. It's here. It's so good." Oh, and I like, there's 2 of the guys like kind of looked at each other and like. This one kid got stuck with me, right? and like his friends totally fucking left him. Like, like how when you're just like, well, as buddy, you're the one that's standing closest to her. So
that's me.
Good luck
me
to
whenever
you.
we go out. I'm always the one who's like, I'll talk to the host.
Right. Like, but it was just so fucking funny. Like they just all were like, all right, well, it's on you, dude. Like,
taking one for the team.
So they walk away, and I'm like, trying to get the kid to love me because that's like what I just want everyone to do. And I'm just like chatting with him about shit. Like what I don't even fucking know. And he was kind of looking at me. I could tell, even though we're both wearing masks, like, what the fuck? Who is this person? This weird lady. Okay. And then he was like, I don't know, man. I mean, I just think this is like the wildest simulation. And I was like,
oh,
shut up! What did you just say? I was like, Mark! He's like, what? I was like, he just said he thinks it's a simulation. I was like, dude, that's my thing. That is my thing. And then he started laughing like he couldn't even help himself. He's like, you're fucking crazy. I was like, I know. So then I was like, so who's your player in the simulation? Are you leveling up? And he's like, what do you mean? And I was like, well, like, wait, Shantira, are you frozen or are you just being...
you're just listening. Attentive.
You're just listening. Okay, you guys, Shantira was just so still right now. I was like, oh no, she froze.
No,
I'm just...
I'm very attentive. You guys, I have small ears. I have to focus.
Okay, so anyway, so then I'm like, well, because in my version of Sims theory, like we all have different players, and depending on like how good your player is, you can level up. Like for instance, like I'm essentially like one step away from white trash, right? And I come from Arizona. I'm like, what's her name from The Good Place? I was like, but I'm doing pretty well. So I think I have a good player who like has leveled me up. Right. And he's like, oh, I get it. Yeah. No, I think I'm leveling up. I definitely think I'm leveling up. I was like, that's amazing. I was like, so wait, what do you do? And he's like, well, I'm a junior in college. But college is like all messed up now because of whatever,
pandemic,
COVID. I was like, yeah, I get it. And he's like, so we're Zooming, but whatever. He's like, Stash, it's so weird. Like, not even supposed to be here today because my school is actually, I live now close to the school and it's like 45 minutes away. But my mom still lives around here. And I forgot that I had rented these lights in downtown Philly that I had to return, and they were due yesterday. So I came in, and then my mentor who has the organization as I plant this seed, Ryan, this why we're all here, he like called me and was like, oh, I'm so glad you're in town. I want you to come with our like go out with us tomorrow to help like get out the word at polling places so that people know that this is like where they need to come to vote. So yeah, like I wasn't even gonna be here, but I just weirdly am. And I was like, that's so crazy. So wait, why were you returning lights? And he was like, oh, because it's crazy. I like want to be a filmmaker. Aww. And I was making a movie and whatever. And I was like, oh motherfucker, did you just level up?
Yeah.
I was like, guess what we all do? And he's like, what? And I was like, we work in the fucking entertainment industry. So anyway, at this point, he's like looking at me and truly, I think, thinks that I don't even know what he thinks. Like, I think he's like,
okay, white lady.
All right. White lady. And then I just was like, how old are you? Whatever. And he's like, tells me, and because he had said that he wanted to move to LA earlier, And I was like, well, Cordier, like when you are ready, whatever, like I'm getting your information and I want to like help you out in whatever way I can. And he's like, that's awesome. Like, that's amazing. That's so cool. Thank you. Whatever. I was like, great. Like, send me your movie, whatever. I was like, I could still tell. I was like, I was like, okay.
Do you know who I
like,
am?
Oh, no, I was like, what kind of movies do you like? And he's like, well, I love like big comedies. I tend to want to make more suspense movies, but I love big comedies. And I was like, did you watch White Chicks when you were a kid?
Every black person has seen White Chicks. That's our go-to for you, Vizzy.
And he was like, of course, I love White Chicks. And I was like, dude, I'm Karen. And I took my mask down, and his whole face, he was like, oh my God. He's like, I truly didn't think you were full of shit, because why would you just lie about that to me? Like, you know, whatever. But he's like, but now I know, like, you really are someone that works in this industry. I was like, you can look me up, like, whatever.
You should have just done the dance.
I can't remember it. But anyway, my point being, Quadir is going to be an amazing director someday. He's going to thank me when he wins his Oscar. I'm going to see if even, like, I don't even know. Maybe I can get him hired as the PA on this show that I'm doing, because his school is all Zoom for the rest of the year.
That's
really
the universe
cool.
helping you out. That's the universe making sure you are where you're supposed to be.
It's very cool.
To all those people out there who take one for the team, for your friend group, sometimes it works out.
Sometimes it pays off.
This is what I'm saying. But I also just feel like when you talk about, like, whether, I don't know, just like all of those decisions that you make in your life, all of them can have impact on other people's lives and existence
Absolutely.
at some point, right?
Yes.
And so I don't think that all of those guys are wannabe filmmakers.
Right.
It was just him. And
He was where he was supposed to be.
he was where he was supposed to be, and I was where I was supposed to be. Like, our team was where we were supposed to be, you know, like,
just two pennies meeting up on the
just
sidewalk.
2 fucking pennies, man. And I was real bummed that I didn't find a penny yesterday at all, but I found a human penny, and a human penny found me. So
That's amazing.
I love it.
guys, look for the silver linings. Always look for the hope. Look for the fucking pennies. Show up. Keep showing up.
We don't know
Keep doing your best.
Keep doing your best. We don't know what's about to happen. We're all just sending our energy, like our positive vibes, because it can't hurt, right?
It can't hurt.
Just keeping. Somebody said, set your face on Twitter. You know what I mean? And I was kind of like, yeah, set your face and steal your spine. And I was like, okay, that's what I'm going to do. It felt right.
Set your face like a game face.
Yeah, kind of like they were like, if the way your face looks now makes the other side feel good, then don't give them that. Set your face and steal your spine. And I was like, yeah, that feels good to me. That feels right.
You know what else? Like, I did cry a lot. I'm not gonna lie.
I haven't cried yet, but I probably will.
You kind of just did on this podcast.
Yeah, why
Shantira.
didn't you cry today? I feel disappointed.
No, she kind of did. She got so angry. She was on
so
in
mad. I'm
tears.
so mad. But I am probably going to cry later. We've talked about this before. I cannot mourn yet. Mourn yet. So when Biden wins, I will cry.
Yeah, it's just we're just setting
That is the
aside
least
time
that I'm winning.
to cry in one of a variety of ways.
A variety of ways. Yeah. I'm manifesting that is how I want to cry.
Here's the other thing I want to say to everybody. This is a marathon. It is not a sprint. It has never been a fucking sprint. Not for any one of us, even if we thought it was. You're not going to win fucking everything that you want all the time. You're not going to get all the progressive things passed on the ballot. You're not going to get all your candidates through. You have to build the world you want to see bit by bit. It's like fucking arduous and long and a process, and it is exhausting. And some of it's not your fucking job, Shantira. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're right. But some of it is. other stuff is. And
we're going to do it.
And
everybody has a job. Everybody has something they can do, and just know your role. And then whatever is good for you emotionally, physically, that you can sustain, go for that.
Okay. Cricket's favorite children's book of the last 6 months, and I read it to her every night, is Kamala and Maya's Big Idea. And it was written by Kamala's niece, Mina Harris, who started Phenomenal, which is an amazing organization. We should talk to her, actually.
Yeah, she's amazing.
But in the book, it's really well written. It's a really great children's book. If you haven't gotten it yet, please get it. But in the book, it says at the very end, Kamala and Maya knew no one can do everything, but everyone can do something.
Yeah, that's it.
And that's fucking it, guys.
Yeah. Yeah. And even in losing, I hope that people really take this to heart. If you worked for something so hard and it didn't turn out the way that you wanted it to turn out.
I mean, I've worked for Jamie Harrison for over a year.
And Jamie Harrison cleared a path.
Yep.
Jamie Harrison made a dent in an undentable situation. And so Jamie Harrison he'll get him next time.
Yeah, he really will. He really fucking will.
And, Stacey Abrams, she made a huge difference in the outcome of Georgia, whichever way it goes, She
got 800,000 people registered to vote.
Yeah.
That's
and so
amazing.
In losing, Stacey Abrams didn't lose,
Well, by the way, she didn't lose.
Yeah.
By the way, literally, she not only literally didn't lose.
Yeah. But, but she is out there, and she's still, and that's a huge example for all of us too. Like, she didn't get the thing she was going for, and she was like, okay, what's the next thing? So just have courage.
We believe in you.
I believe in you. Shantira, go to work on your real job.
Love you guys.
Love you, Shantira. Take care of that ear.
You guys, it's small but mighty.
Small but mighty.
We will talk to you next week.
Deep breaths.
Deep breaths. We love you. And bye.
I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm doing my best.
Oh no.